Well, Broncos country, we got the win on Christmas night. Bo, Merry Nixmas. Thank you, Broncos country, for being with us this whole way as we get another win on our season. It may not have been the prettiest of wins, but a dub's a dub. The Denver Broncos are 13-3. Still leading the AFC by one game, ready to take it to the promised land. Let's go get that number one seed, and we are going to do this. And I just realized that our background is wrong, so I'm going to fix that while we go. Guys, this is the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. Let's go!
Every touchdown scored, our spirits ignite. Let's celebrate our boys into the night. When the whistle blows, it's all about the day. Through the highs and lows, we'll never feel shame. This is our house. Hear the fans scream, Buck your feelings.
Let's go! Welcome to the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. And although we already did it,
All right. Enough of that.
No. Well, I'm not done. You know what? I don't care that we already did it once during the game time show. It's happening.
Denver's gonna win it! Oh, baby, they're gonna win this thing! You can stand up and salute in Denver. The Broncos have done it!
Yes! Salute in Denver, all right? Hey, wasn't pretty. Wasn't what we were expecting. Wasn't necessarily what we hoped for, but we got the dub, and that's all that matters. Ultimate Christmas gift. Denver Broncos get another win, go up to 13-3 on the season, currently in firm control of the number one overall seed for the playoffs. It feels great. I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking. Well, with me tonight is my buddy Bronco Rob, doing his second show in a row tonight. I'm so happy you're here, brother. Welcome, everybody, to the Buck Your Feelings postgame show here on the Orange and Blue Network. I do want to apologize. I'm a little without voice. I've been dealing with some sickness, and, of course, this game did not help that because I was screaming a lot. But the Denver Broncos win. We're up 13-3, and I'm feeling, you know what? I said I wasn't going to be too proud of this win, but you know what? I'm feeling a little more proud than I thought I was going to. A win's a win. And we got it. We got it in Arrowhead. Rob, how are you feeling right now post-game?
Well, like you said, Johnny, a win is a win, whether it's by 1 point or 30 points. At the end of the day, the Denver Broncos went into Arrowhead, into enemy territory, and laid the wood down on them Kansas City Chiefs and sent all the T-Swifties and all the Kelsey Maniacs crying, bye-bye, see you.
Very well could be his very last game at Arrowhead. guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I do also apologize about the mix-up with the border at the beginning of the show. Apparently, last week's one didn't get deleted, and this week's one didn't upload when I was trying to do it earlier this week. So, for some weird reason, don't know why, but we've got it fixed. Broncos W, KCL, and we are now good to go. So, welcome to the Nothing Rhymes. Welcome to the Buck Your Feelings postgame show here on the Orange and Blue Network. We thank you for joining us after the game. If this is your first time here or you haven't already, please take a moment and like, subscribe, share, and comment. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our awesome content. We have shows all week long, all year long, all Broncos, all Denver sports. You don't want to miss any of it, all right? Make sure that you ring that notification bell and make sure that you set once you've subscribed, that your profile is set to public. That way, your name is entered into our giveaway for a brand new Bo Nix jersey, just like the one Rob is wearing over there. Also, follow us on X, follow us on Facebook, and check us out on all your favorite platforms for the audio versions of every one of our shows. All right, guys, appreciate that very much. Also, I'm going to get it out of the way now, and then we can put it all aside. We want to thank the sponsor of tonight's show. You can see the link in the bio below. W.GG will take you to W Jitterless Energy Blend. It will be your mouth's favorite energy drink because W comes in a multitude of delicious flavors, but it does not give you the jitters of the crash and has enough caffeine to kick you in the butt, get your day going, and keep your day going without the jitters of the crash because W has no sugar. It also has no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors, no calories. It is as natural as it can be. Nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, nootropics, and the caffeine is derived directly from the coffee fruit. So it's as natural as it can possibly be. So you're going to want to try it. I promise you, you will thank me later. It's great stuff. We swear by it here on the network. And I know once you give it a shot, you will too. So what you're going to do, you're going to go over to W. You're going to punch in code OBN10. OBN10 at the checkout will tell them that Orange and Blue Network sent you and get you 10% off your order. The Broncos got a dub tonight. Go on over to W and get yourself a dub. That being said, it is time to talk post-game. Rob, couple of fun facts. The Denver Broncos just won for the first time in Arrowhead since 2015.
Suck it, Kansas City.
That's right. We also just swept the Kansas City Chiefs for the first time since 2014.
Suck it, Kansas City.
With this win, our odds of taking the number one seed in the AFC have risen to 62%. Higher than any other team, obviously. So now, how do we feel about the rest of this season going forward? The final game, one game left in the regular season. How are we feeling, Rob?
Well, if nobody can tell, I'm excited that, we have swept the Kansas City Chiefs because they have controlled this division for the last 9 years. The last 9 years, I've had to listen to people very close to me who all of a sudden are Chief fans because they got Patty Mahomes, and finally they can shut it. So I'm super happy about that. But as you said, all of this is going to come down to the very last game, which is going to be happening sometime soon. We don't have a date, at least not on the Broncos schedule page. It says TBD, to be decided. And it's going to come down to us playing the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I'm not going to revisit the first time that we played them because leverage is a BS penalty. But with that being said, it's going to come down to that final game. So,
well, I will point out the leverage call happened in the Colts game week 2. But
well, same difference.
Still, that was our second loss of the season out of 3. And it was by a field goal in the final seconds, just like week 2 against the Colts and that leverage penalty. So it sucked. I was there. It sucked.
Well, nonetheless, I still think leverage is a BS penalty, even if I did get it in the wrong game. But still, it's going to come down to that final game against the Chargers. And Denver's going to have to play mistake-free football if we want to come out with the number 1 seed.
Okay. That's fair. I will point out the Chargers have a game against the Texans on Saturday that will be have massive impact and reverberations through the standings, depending on who wins that game going into the final week. We will all be Texans fans that day. We need that tiebreak. We want that tiebreaker too. We definitely need the Chargers to lose. But that being said, all that being what it is, the Denver Broncos currently still, and with the highest probability, hold the number 1 seed for at least one more week. And we did it with a sweep of our arch nemesis. Possibly sent Travis Kelce packing on an L. For his final game, possibly his final game at Arrowhead. And it feels good, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does. Typically in Arrowhead, Denver usually gets the short end of the stick for the most part. And in past years, Denver's gotten the short stick against the Chiefs in both matchups, both home and away. But again, the Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs for at least a couple weeks now. So we don't have to worry about them in the playoffs. But, Denver has some tough teams in the playoffs coming up. You've got the Buffalo Bills. You've got the Chargers. You've got the Patriots. You've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, Denver and the coaching staff are really going to have to step their game up if they want to make a deep run in the playoffs, let alone make it to the ship. So, we'll see what happens, man.
Now, and here's the thing. This game ultimately probably should have gone in a lot of different ways than it did. Again, as I said during the game, the actual game time show, I have never been a referee conspiracy theorist, but there is no denying that there were multiple penalties called against Denver and also multiple penalties that were not called on the Chiefs in this game. And the referee bias, especially on that particular referee crew for the Chiefs, is disgusting. And it would have been a very different game had it been called, in my opinion, fairly.
Yeah, Blitz B Rippin coming in saying, what's sad is Chiefs only had 2 penalties all game, and most of the penalties not called were on them. Makes you wonder. So Blitz B Rippin definitely feels you there, Johnny. He also comes in saying, unfortunately, no more sack record for us. No. And we need 9 against the Chargers to.
What if? What if though? I'm not saying that you're going to get that, but what if? What if like Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, Malcolm Roach, all of them are like, hey, we're going to put some extra, emphasis in practice, and we're going to get 9 sacks. I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying it's not over yet, bud. It ain't over till it's over. So it is, the odds of getting 9 sacks in one game, low. But, I mean, we can be honest. Justin Herbert is a sack magnet. So
this is true.
I mean, it's not over till it's over, bud. He says it would be amazing to see Herbert eat dirt 9 times. Yes, it would.
I mean, currently, I think Denver's sitting at like 64, give or take.
65.
65.
The record is 74 in a season by the Bears. I want to say the 84 Bears.
72.
Okay, sorry, 72 Bears. So yeah, we're sitting at 65. after tonight because we only got the one, and that sucked, but it is what it is. Now, let's talk a little bit about the game. Again, calls were not necessarily in our favor. I mean, the refs definitely tried, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a ref conspiracy theorist, but the referees definitely tried to help Kansas City win that game. Okay, it's 73. Sorry. So you're right. We are at 64 because we're 9 away. It is 73. So thank you, Blitz. I'm sorry. I just didn't have it pulled up here on my stuff. But again, the refs definitely tried to help the Chiefs win that game. But beyond that, it was not necessarily a pretty game in a lot of ways from us. In that there was a lot of drop passes, in my opinion, right? A lot of drop passes in when they should not have been dropped. And then there was also some errant passing, and it wasn't like egregious errant passing. It's like you said it during the game. It was minute, tiny little mistakes that just compounded, right? And so how are you feeling going up against the Chargers and going into the postseason with the way our offense, especially in our passing game, looked tonight on a short week in Arrowhead?
Well, I mean, definitely, the offense. I'm glad that we have kind of a mini bye week now because, again, that Chargers game is going to be flexed. It doesn't have a current date currently, but that offense needs to pull their shit together. Bo Nix is going to have to really tighten up his passing, put the ball on the receivers. The receivers are going to have to catch it no matter how hard Nix throws it. Like we say, they're professional athletes. They get paid to play a kid's game. And they've been playing this long enough that, granted, I get it, just outside the fingertips, beyond the reach, whatever, like things like that. But I mean, if it hits you in the hands, your ass better catch it, period. Because, again, we got the Chargers to go, and then we're in playoff football, baby. And that's when you got to play your best football. You got to put your best foot forward, and you got to shine like the diamond that we know that Denver's offense can be. But unfortunately, they haven't shown that yet.
And the thing is, some of them misses and drops weren't just off the fingertips, off the hands. I mean, R.J. Harvey had one right into the breadbasket that I said it during the game, rookie mistake, right? He pretty much counted on that ball being into his arms, and before the ball was in his arms, he looked away and looked downfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the desire to do that. I've been there. I understand that desire, that feeling like, oh, it's coming right. It's right here. I can turn now. I can turn my head. But all it takes is one fingertip or one just slight variation in the air for that ball to move off of the course it's on, and you drop it. It hit him right here, and it was down. That is not acceptable. I get it. I said it, rookie mistake from a rookie. If that had been a J.K. Dobbins had been on the field and that had been a J.K. Dobbins drop, I'd have been like, that is not okay. You're a veteran. You know better. But it was a rookie mistake from a rookie, but it's something that has to be addressed and has to be fixed. Dropped passes, not going to get the job done. And then Bo Nix, on the other hand, some of his missed passes, too much heat, too much, I said it, I call it hot sauce, too much hot sauce on the ball, right? Hitting his guys with 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, you know what I mean? That hits the hands, it hurts. It hurts. It makes it hard to catch, and then ones where they were off. The ball was 2 inches too far, 2 inches too shallow. He's got to work on this accuracy. Get the jugs out there and start throwing at some tires, man.
Absolutely.
You got to get this accuracy down, man.
Johnny, how do you feel about our play calling tonight? You feel
Honestly,
like it was conservative, aggressive? I mean, which way you leaning here?
neither. I feel like it was conservative at times, but it was aggressive when it needed to be. I feel like there was a moment there, and they did correct it. So I was thankful for it that Sean Payton abandoned the run game for a drive or two. I would say just a drive, honestly, where he just started having them slinging the ball, and I was like, no, do not abandon the run game. And they addressed it, they fixed it, and the rest of the game seemed pretty good to me. Honestly, the only questionable call was on the one that failed that the Chiefs ultimately got one of their 2 penalties on. It was one of the ones to decide the game. We were in the red zone in the 4th quarter, ready to shut it down, and it was what? Fourth down and 1.
Fourth and 1 or 4th and inches.
It was 4. It was 4th and very, very short. And we saw it. They decided you had literally said on the Game Time show, you'd said, please don't try to do some trick play here. And as soon as they line up, RJ Harvey's in the Wildcat and Bo Nix is over here on the right. And you're like, and they're doing a trick play. Luckily, Chris Jones, neutral zone infraction and instantaneous, not neutral zone infraction, sorry, it was offside. And instantaneous Denver first down. Saved us. That was the only play call of the game that actually gave me pause and had me worried. What about you?
Well, I mean, you said it, and just like I said, I didn't want them to run a trick play. I wanted them to line up, just run a damn play, and get the ball in the end zone. Now, again, they got lucky, but you can't do that every single game. And I don't understand Sean Payton's infinity with these trick plays, these wildcat plays, the flea flickers. Like, guys are too smart for that. And the teams that we're going to be playing against, they're going to see it coming a mile away. And how Chris Jones did not see that RJ Harvey was in the backfield and not Bo Nix is beyond me. But, again, we got super lucky on that. Johnny, I'm going to hit this comment real quick, and then we can kind of get into the stats, yeah?
Yeah.
So we got Gary Neighbors coming in saying, go Broncos country, Merry Christmas to you, a win. So, Gary, appreciate you being with us. And, yes, Santa came and delivered a dub to Denver for this week's game. But with that being said, how you want to do the stats, Johnny? You want me just to kind of run through?
Yeah, I've got them up too. So we can kind of both go through it. Passing, Bo Nix, not his best outing, but again, some of it was on him. Some of it was on drop passes. Quite a few of it was on drop passes, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah.
26 for 38, only 182 yards on the game. A touchdown, which was on the was a passing touchdown. He did throw an interception early in the game, which
was
did
super lucky.
And honestly, we said it on the show, and I stand by it. Questionable. So, he did take 1 sack. And his quarterback rating for the day was only 76.9%. Don't like that. So I don't know. Passing, not great, but it was again, we got the job done. So if you want to go through some rushing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Broncos tonight had a couple changes as far as the leader of rushing tonight, but at the end of the night, RJ Harvey had 14 attempts for 43 yards, averaging 3.1 yards per carry. Bo Nix comes in behind him at 9 attempts for 42 yards, averaging 4.7 with 1 touchdown on the ground. Jaleel McLaughlin, 7 for 40, 5.7 average. And Adam Prentice pulling up the rear with 2 attempts for 3 yards. Pause. And so no rushing touchdowns as far as running backs are concerned, which is concerning. But again, Bo Nix doing both things and making plays and scoring touchdowns when we absolutely need it. So that was good to see there.
Receiving. This is where my concern is from this game, is in receiving, because this I find this almost disgusting. Cortland Sutton is our leading receiver in this game. Mr. Reliable, right? We've called him that how many times?
Quite a few.
10 targets, only 4 receptions. 2 of those I can say were on Bo Nix. 2 of those 6 incomplete passes I can say were on Bo Nix, throwing into a bad spot, right? I can say I think I'd count off the top of my head 2, maybe 3, but I would say 2. The other 4 were ones that you see Cortland Sutton come down with all the time. And I get law of averages. Eventually you're not going to be the one coming down with it every time, right? But 4 times, I guess 3 times in one game, passes that are contested passes that Cortland Sutton 9 times out of 10 comes down with, to have that ball knocked out or hit the ground and the ball pops free and it's an incomplete. For Cortland Sutton, that is not what we come to know and expect from him. So that definitely, as him still being the leading receiver, because he did receive on his 4 receptions 40 yards, which is the most of the night. That is very concerning to me. He was followed by R.J. Harvey with 5 on 6 for 33 yards. Adam Troutman was 2 for 2 for 24. Little Jordan Humphrey was 2 for 5 for 23. Again, more passes that were in bad spots. 2 at least to little Jordan Humphrey, and 1 that he just dropped that he shouldn't have. Evan Ingram got involved, 4 for 4. Only 21 yards for him. Troy Franklin was 4 for 4 for 17. Michael Bandy caught 2 for 2 for 14. And then Marvin Mims was 3 for 4 for 10. 1 passing touchdown was to R.J. Harvey. Play of the game, in my opinion. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But so for the most part, it actually looks like most of our receivers caught their passes.
And Jair comes in real quick, Johnny, saying, I thought Troy Franklin would have a better game. The last couple games, Troy Franklin's production and targets, in my opinion, I think has come down quite a bit. And that's surprising, especially with Pat Bryant being out and being hurt right now in concussion protocol. You would think that Troy Franklin's targets would have gone up, but instead it has gone in the opposite direction.
So that Humphrey more than him.
Yeah, and so I mean that's a little concerning, at least from that aspect.
Yeah, it is. So ultimately, while most of our receivers did receive on their targets, the fact that Cortland Sutton, and I'm not counting him out, he's Cortland Sutton. He's done this a long time, and he's still very reliable, I believe. I just think he had an off night, but it is a concern.
I think the whole offense had an off night tonight because, again, we've seen this team be able to put points up on the board. And the fact that Kansas City had a third string quarterback, and I'm going to give him his props. I mean, he did enough to sustain drives, to not take too many sacks. He didn't turn the ball over. But again, he's a third stringer. Like, we should have murdered this dude. And our defense, we had pressure on him all night long, but we just could not get home and get those sacks that we're used to seeing Denver's defense, get in those games.
Exactly. Now, I will say this. I kind of got talked to and at during the game, right? Over calling it the show that he was putting on because he didn't put on that great of a show overall. But one thing that he did prove, he is a mobile quarterback. And, he was moving. He was good at escaping. Because we were bringing the pressure. You can't deny that, right? We were bringing the pressure. There was a lot of it. He was just very good at escaping, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But that being said, if you want to hit a few like, there's a lot, of course. If you want to hit like a few high points on defense.
Yeah. So defense, leading tackler, obviously Pat Surtain, 4 solo tackles, 1 assist, no interceptions on the night from our secondary. Behind that, you got DJ Jones, 3 solo, 2 assists, Singleton, 2 and 2. And then, everybody else kind of follows down the line. We only had 1 sack on the evening, and they didn't even credit that sack completely to one player or another. They split that between Jonah Ellis and Tillman. Each had a half a sack. Nick Benito did have a 1 pass deflection there at the line, which, like in the live stream, I noticed that Nick Benito did not catch that because had he caught that, he would have been gone, pick 6. And Johnny and I kind of both noticed that Nick Benito had his thumb wrapped up, which is most likely a very good reason as to why he didn't catch that because, Olin Dokin, whatever his name, he didn't throw it very hard. And so that was surprising to see Nick Benito not come down with that and take it back for a pick 6. But, other than that, we had a few guys with 2 solo tackles. Everybody else had 1. I think our defense, they played just good enough to win the game, but they didn't play like we're used to seeing.
They didn't play to the level that we've come to expect from the Denver Broncos. One thing I can say is that we've seen a marked drop-off from Talanoa Hufanga, which I can honestly probably credit a lot of that to Brandon Jones being out. Because now, because Brandon Jones was such a good partner for Hufanga, that Hufanga was able to do a little, to do some other things a little bit more. And now that, God bless him, he's doing his best. PJ Locke's in there. You're seeing Hufanga have to do some other things, which is taking away from the production that we saw from him, most of the season. Right. So that is a thing. No interceptions on the day. Nothing to write home about on kick or punt returns. Will Lutz was 2 for 2 on field goals and was 2 for 2 on extra points. And again, nothing really to write home about in punting. Jeremy Crawshaw with 2 punts, averaged 51 yards, which actually isn't anything to scoff about. But it was just kind of a bit of a lackluster game, which will take us to our next segment, which is, which is who's got the balls. So let's talk about it. Who's got the balls tonight? Welcome to Who's Got the Balls. It's easy. It's game balls. Who gets a game ball? In a win, generally we do 3 and 3 each. We each give 3 game balls. Rob, do you think we have enough to give 3 game balls tonight, or should we just go the way that we do when we lose usually and give 2 each?
I don't even know if we've got enough to give 2 each, honestly.
We're gonna. One
Oh,
way or the
okay.
other, we're gonna.
We'll find something somewhere. Is that two
We will.
each between you and I, like two you, two me, or
Yeah.
two in general?
Yeah, 2 each.
Okay, offense and defense, or just
And however you want to let the balls fall.
all right. Well, I'm gonna go first then. I'm gonna go offensive side of the ball, and I'm gonna give it to Bo. I think Bo had at least 2 QB sneaks for first downs. He had one of the touchdowns on the ground, the only rushing touchdown that we had the entire game, and he did have another great run for quite a few yards. I don't remember exactly how many. But that kept the drive going and sustained the drive in order for Denver to get down the field and be able to put points on the board, or at least put the Chiefs in a deeper hole as far as time goes, to try to force them to run their hurry up and try to score to tie the game. So offensively, my first one's going to go to Senor Nix.
Okay, I like it. He also had a passing touchdown. And why does this keep happening? My Santa hat just keeps rotating. It's the
Stop
weirdest.
touching it, Johnny.
I'm not touching it. It just does it. Anyway, he had the passing touchdown as well, which to me was the play of the game. Play design was, Bo Nix took the snap. Our RJ Harvey moved up to the line, and he went into the out for a pat, out as a receiver. Bo Nix rolled out to the right, and we were on 4th and 1 or 4th and short. No, we were sorry. We had 1 yard to go. We were on the Kansas City 1. Bo Nix rolled out and executed it perfectly. He could have either tried to run it in himself, but probably would have been met before the goal line, and may or may not have gotten it in. But when he saw that RJ Harvey had managed to pull up and get open in the back of the end zone, threw a perfect pass right to the back of the end zone to RJ Harvey. It was the game winning pass, and got to give him that. I still think that there was some missing from his game tonight, but 2 touchdowns on the night. Both of them, one of them a running play by him, one of them a passing play by him. Got to give it to him. If anybody deserves a game ball tonight on this win that's slightly lackluster, it would be Bo Nix. So I like it. I agree with it. I'll go offense as well here. Excuse me. I'm going to give it to RJ Harvey. Led the team in rushes, 14 on carries for 43 yards. Not necessarily an impressive average. It's only 3.1, but he did go. He did keep the run game going, and I would say that getting open in the back of that end zone, the way he did it, it was very intelligent. Not necessarily completely designed that way. He read the defender and figured out and knew right when to make the stop to be open for the pass. And so I'm going to give it to RJ Harvey.
I like it. For my second one, I'm going to go defense. And I'm going to give one to Pat Surtain for the simple fact of once Denver's defensive coordinator Vance Joseph decided to stick Surtain on Kelsey, all of a sudden Kelsey
You just medlocked me.
All of a sudden Kelsey was ineffective. So you could lean more of Vance Joseph getting the game ball, but again, I'm going to give it to Surtain just for the simple fact of he kept Kelsey kind of in check and as far as passes to Kelsey goes for the most part. So that's going to be my defensive game ball.
Yeah, I like that. It makes sense. Again, he definitely did have that pass interference called on him early in the game, which was a BS call. Set the Chiefs up for their first score. It was not in any way. It was not a pass interference. Even the commentators were like, I don't see it. I don't see what he did. Again, it was just another example of those refs trying to help those Chiefs win. But ultimately, most of the night we didn't hear his name, which when it comes to that position and being who he is usually a good thing. And like you said, once Vance Joseph was like, no, man to man, man up on Kelsey. And at that moment, Kelsey became non-existent. Kelsey had been chewing us up on that drive, on their attempted drive to end the game, to score to end the game with a win, with a win for the Chiefs. It would have been a win for the Chiefs there. Or no, tying. I guess it would have tied and sent it to overtime.
Right.
Kelsey was chewing us up on that drive. Just over and over, quick pass, even a deeper pass over the top of Jahdae Barron that did not go our way. But as soon as Surtain was on him, it's like he didn't exist anymore. And that is just perfectly indicative of the player that Pat Surtain is, why he's our captain, why he's the DPOY, and why he's going back to another Pro Bowl.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, absolutely Pat Surtain deserves. I want to go defense as well. Not so much for any one particular play or whatever. I believe this was DJ Jones' first game back, was it not?
No, I think he played last week too.
Okay, well, his impact on last week's game, I remember the stat lines. I don't remember seeing anything special there. But tonight, he comes in the game. He is another captain, by the way. So three of our captains are getting game balls tonight. DJ Jones comes in the game, and 5 total tackles, 3 of them solo. He was affecting the game, and it was good to see him back because I'm giving him the game ball again, not for anything, one particular moment in the game or anything, but more so because we noticed the difference when he was gone. We noticed a difference at that position, and you can see how you can see what it's like when he's there versus when he's not. And I feel like he affected the game enough tonight. Second game back, maybe, sure, but I liked seeing DJ Jones doing what he was doing, and so I've got to give it to DJ Jones.
I like it, Johnny.
And I have no honorable mentions for the night after that. Maybe Big Nuts Lutz for being, 2 for 2 field goals, 2 for 2 extra points. Well done, you did your job. But
he did his job, and that's his job.
And then here's the truth of it, man. We'll talk a little bit more about the season to come and the playoffs and all that before we get out of here. But this is going to be a short show compared to our normal shows because there's just not that much exciting to talk about.
Other than the fact that we swept the Kansas City Chiefs.
There's that. And we did see Travis Kelce giving it, his post-game interview. They showed part of it anyway. And he was very non-committal on this whole retirement thing. He's like, it's going to be what it is, I'm just going to focus on this, that, and the other right now. And
yeah, but he's not going to. He's going to drag it out and make it a whole spectacle. And
so we did sweep the Chiefs for the first time in 11 years. We did win at Arrowhead for the first time in 9. And that is something. I wish it had been over Mahomes, as it should have been last year when they had that lucky block field goal. But a win's a win, and we finally have broken this disgusting streak of 9 losses straight at Arrowhead Stadium.
Suck it, Kansas City!
And that is something to be proud of. That is something to be excited about. My cousin Jay co-host of the Nothing Rhymes Orange and Blue podcast with me on Tuesdays, he did message our group and say that as soon as that game was over, it was, he's gone to a lot of games at Arrowhead because he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. It's the closest stadium for him. And he said it was the quietest he has heard Arrowhead in a very long time. So that feels good too. Shut down all those yappy and obnoxious Kansas City fans. I love that.
Yes, sir. And now we get to rest up our injured, recover, and get ready for a big
Game
one
plan.
in a, well, who knows how long? 7 days, 10 days, could be, who knows?
I do not think it'll be flexed to Thursday. I think the odds of that happening are very low.
It better not.
But I mean, it could get flexed to Sunday night football. The game against the Chargers. Wouldn't it be something if it got flexed to Monday night football and we got an extra day? That would be kind of crazy. I do want to point out the Chargers will also have a long week because they're not playing on Sunday, they're playing on Saturday. But it gives us a two-day advantage over them to rest up and recuperate. And I mean, we've said it all night. In this game of football, death by inches, a day, a minute can be the difference between winning and losing. So 2-day advantage over them is not something just to turn up your nose at. So, yeah.
Well, we just got to see what happens. I feel confident that Denver is going to be able to handle business against the Chargers when they do play them. I just hope that whatever funk we're in since Jacksonville, that we shake it the hell off and get back to playing dominant football like our defense knows how to play. Because if not, it's going to be a long game come the Chargers, and it's going to be an even longer road come the playoffs, whether we have the number 1 seed or not.
Yeah, and you said it. Let's heal up our guys. We haven't heard any kind of like prognosis on, timelines for Dre Greenlaw's return or anything like that. So I mean, it's very possible he could be good to go by next week, and some of our other guys that Nate Adkins, and some of these other guys that are out, and of course, even though there was only a few guys out tonight, there was a lot of guys on that injury report that for different reasons that still played tonight. And I guarantee you, dude, at this point in the season, whether you're on the injury report or not, everybody's banged up a bit. Everybody's got some bumps, bruises, a stubbed toe or, whatever. And so, definitely need to use this time. Definitely need to use this time to heal up our guys. But I also don't want them. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and the thing is, is right now we're sitting at, 17 games, and they're talking about possibly adding another game. It's only for the mere fact of they want to crank out as much money out of the NFL as possible. But then they're like, oh, we have all these injuries. Like, yeah, because you keep adding games to the schedule, numbnuts.
Yeah, for real. Like, I mean, that's the thing is not only you're gonna see more injuries in general just because of the length of season, but at the same time, you're also probably going to see shorter careers for a lot of players.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't sound like it would. It doesn't sound like adding just one more game would make that big of a difference. But this is a game of inches. A tiny, just the smallest possible difference could be the smallest possible alteration can be the difference between someone's career and just a boo-boo.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I can agree with that comment from Jair. All of Broncos country is going to be a Houston Texans fan on Saturday. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Because if the Texans do beat the Chargers, then the Broncos will clinch the AFC West division title. But we will still need to beat the Chargers to keep our first round seed in the playoffs.
Yes. And we need the Texans to beat them on Saturday, which honestly, I'm going to ask you, who do you think has the advantage in that game, Chargers or Texans?
Personally, I think the Texans.
I do too, because they do have the defense. They do have the defense that can absolutely shut down, not necessarily shut down, but hold back the tide of the Chargers offense. And, I said it earlier, Justin Herbert, with his depleted O-line, he is a sack magnet. So let the Texans hit him a few extra times and soften him up a little bit more for us for our final push.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you know what? Again, we're ending about 9. Well, I mean, usually we go about an hour and a half on this show, but our goal has always been an hour. But we're actually going to shut it down a few minutes early because while we are very excited and there are such good things to be happy about, like a 13-3 record, still holding the number one, a 62% chance of owning the number 1 seed, and also, of course, sweeping the Chiefs, beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead for the first time in almost a decade. These are all things to be excited about. This game was so lackluster in general. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We came out with the W. We swept the Chiefs. We are getting back to our winning ways. And really, my just final thoughts are go Broncos. And let's get ready to put BTA to the Chargers and finish off this season strong.
Boots to asses, baby. Let's go. Guys, thank you for joining us tonight. The Broncos are 13-3. We swept the Chiefs. We won at Arrowhead. All these little things that have been, just monkeys on our backs for so long have come to an end. I am not confident saying the Chiefs dynasty is full. The Chiefs are not. Our dynasty is fully over, but it sure seems like it, and it feels damn good to be part of it. And it is good that we have a long week. So we will see you tomorrow for the Orange and Blue Blitz Overreaction Friday as a result of tonight's win. Guys, thank you for joining us here on the Buck Your Feelings postgame show here on the Orange and Blue Network. We thank you for being with us. Remember, if you haven't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, and comment on YouTube especially. Subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss any of our other awesome content that we have running all week long, all year long. And make sure that you set your profile to public after you've subscribed or before. But make sure you're set to public so that we can see your name and we can enter you into the Bo Nix jersey giveaway. Also, make sure you follow us on X. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. And you know what, Rob, since I got you here, I'm confident in saying that we will do the jersey giveaway this week. As our, again, do it again, but we're going to do it this week as a, end of season kind of thing,
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
be able to get a jersey to somebody to wear during the playoffs. All right.
That would be
Make sure you
ideal.
follow us on it. Ideal indeed. Follow us on X, follow us on Facebook, and make sure you check out the audio version of every one of our podcasts on your favorite platforms. Just search Orange and Blue Network. Guys, I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking, and speaking for my co-host and my friend, Bronco Rob, thank you for joining us tonight. Big Mile High salute. Go Broncos. We will see you next time. Have a great night, Broncos country, and Merry freaking Christmas.
The Bucks Here comes the thunder, feel that quake in Broncos country. We're never afraid to take the